Your database password has probably been the same since 2022. I know because that's the default. Static credentials live forever, and the moment one leaks, you're compromised indefinitely. In this video, we are going to talk about HashiCorp Vault and dynamic secrets, that are the secrets which actually expire. When we talk about the static secret, there are four problems which we need to solve, right? For static secret, the password never rotate. The credential is spread across like Slack, environment files, emails. A leak secrets that's valid forever until you rotate it, right? And there is a zero audit trial. This is where the Vault solve all of these problems, and it's solved by using just dynamic secrets or a temporary secret which get rotated. So what is Vault, right? So if you don't know or if you never heard about Vault, Vault is like a secret management platform that doesn't just store secrets. It also generates secret on demand and then destroy them automatically when a timer runs out. Example is like dynamic secrets where you have TTL leases, auto revocation, full audit log, and it works with any backend like Postgres, AWS, Kubernetes, SSH. So it can be set up with any different systems where you can have like dynamic secret with specific time TTL lease. Netflix, GitHub, Cloudflare, they're all running Vault to eliminate static secret from their infrastructure. So that's a key feature of HashiCorp Vault. It's not just to store some secret, it can actually generate credential on demand. So here's the flow in plain English. Your application asks Vault for a database credential, and the Vault authenticates your app. Talk to Postgres and create a brand new user with a random password and send it back to with the least duration, say like maybe 2 minutes, and the app connects. So your app connects, uses this credential which actually have only 2 minutes of lease. So when the clock hits 0 from 2 to 0, the Vault auto revokes them. So that means the PostgreSQL user is dropped and the password is invalid. And when if it was stolen, it was already dead, right? So there is no need for manual cleanup, no rotation script, just credentials that expire on schedule. We will see on hands-on how these are set up. The TTL is the key factor here. You can set up some time, how long this secret should be live, and then it can auto reset it. So what we were going to do in the demo, so we're going to set up Docker Compose, and we are going to set up some instance of HashiCorp Vault and Postgres using Docker Compose, and there will be 2 containers running, and we will be setting up the password for Postgres, and then we will be able to see also we will see like how the Vault is up, it's not sealed, and we will configure the database secret engine, and then we will set up the dynamic secret for Postgres. This is the Docker Compose file. I will link it to the video description where you can pull these files from my GitHub repo. And what it does is like it's create a Vault container, right? Vault demo with using HashiCorp Vault, and it has some configuration where we set the port number and root token and everything. Then you have another container which will be running Vault Postgres demo, which will be using Postgres 16 Alpine, and it also have like the Postgres user and Postgres password, and that it creates a DB app-DB, right? So we are going to run that in the command line. So I have these files over here, Docker Compose. I'm going to use Docker Compose up -d. So it start creating the containers. Now you can see it has created the network containers for Vault and the Postgres. If I use Docker PS, you can see I have Postgres running and I have HashiCorp Vault running, right? So I clear this screen. I'm going to set some default Vault address so that I can log in. Then I'm also going to set the root. I'm also going to set the Vault token, which will be root, and then I should be able to log into the Vault using this. So if you run the 127.0.0.1 8200, you should be getting this screen, and then you can enter root as your token, then you should be able to log in. Now you can see I have secret engines like normal KV path and also like normal chubby hole, which is like a pre-token private secret. But this is the KB path secret, and we don't have anything else. Right now we will be setting the database secret engine. Before I move into setting up database, let's check the vault status. So once you run the vault status, you should be able to see what is the seal type, whether it's sealed or not, right? So you can see it's sealed false. So it's not sealed, that means the vault is running fine, and you can see the cluster name and everything. Now let's set up our database secret engine and we configure it, right? So we need to enable the database, and then we write some configure our PostgreSQL connection. Then we set the TTL, which will be like 2 minutes, and all those. Then we can read the credentials. So basically, what it does is then you will get wall response, like you have once you read the credential, you will get the ID, username, and password, which will have a timer, which is for just two minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create or enable the database secret engine. So if I run this, you can see enable successfully. And what does that means in the UI? If I refresh, you should be, if I go to root, you can see there is a database secret engine enabled now, right? And you can see there are no connections, there is no database, right? Nothing is configured, there are no roles, and we are going to do that as well. So we're going to set up this connection, and what we are going to do is, like, here you have to be very clear. This is the Postgres container name. Don't use like localhost or anything. So this is very important. So I'm going to run this command. You can see it's written, and if I can go back here, you should see that I have a one connection enabled now, right, which is for my Postgres. So you can see it's setting up for my Postgres, and they have a role, but the role is not yet defined, right? You have all these commands in my readme in the GitHub repository. You just need to copy paste these commands. Okay, now in order to set the role with TTL, right, I'm going to set the role, and the TTL is for 2 minutes. The default TTL is 2 minutes, and the maximum is like 10 minutes, right? And we are going to copy paste this to the command line, and you can see it has successfully written the TTL, right? Now if I go back here and connections, you have Postgres, you have my role. Now you can see your role is defined, right? And be very clear, you can see the grant is only on select, because we are only giving the select option for the table. For this role, you don't have any permission to write, it only have option to read. So a few key fields which you have to be very understand is like default TTL, which is the credential will expire, right? The maximum lifetime is, even if renewed, is 10 minutes. And creation statement, right? The vault runs to create each temp user, and it's like a revocation statement, right? So you have the creation statement is to create, and revocation statement is for revoking the user, right? So you have the revocation statement, drop the role if exists. Now we completed the configuration. Now we can start creating a temporary user ID and password for this database login. So what I need to do is I need to simply read vault read database credential my cred role. Now you can see it has created the lease ID. It's an ID specific each time when it creates, and this is the username and this is the password. And you can see the lease duration, right? It will be only valid for 2 minutes. So, and now you can use this username and password to log into your database. So I'm going to do one more vault read so that it creates another account. Then I'm going to log in with this user, which would be token, and then I'm going to log into the app DB. Now you can see it's asking for password. You just use this password, then you're logged in, right? So you're inside the DB now, and you can run commands like to get the schemas. You can run like which current user is like which user until valid. So you can see we are currently in this user, and this is valid only like 1 more minute. So then it will be losing our access. I can also run a different command. If I try to create something in the database, since this role doesn't have the create access, you can see permission denied. So if I create some table or something, it will tell you cannot do it because this role which we have set doesn't have this permission to create. So what happens, like if the after a few minutes, if I exit and I have the old login, right? So I have this old username and password. If I log in and I have to enter the password again, okay, it's still active then. So let's wait for a few more minutes. I was super fast, it was not even 2 minutes. That's why it allowed us to log in. It's probably, it will take another couple of seconds. So let's try to log in again. So this is the user and the password is here. Now we can see it's giving like connection to server failed, right? Password authentication failed because this user doesn't exist now because after 2 minutes it's gone. So you have to create a new Vault read database so that it can create a new user, and then you have to log in with that. So if I go here, if I change this to this new username, and if I use this password, see, we are able to log in again, right? So it's super simple. Like now you have a dynamic user and password which have a TTL, and it gets automatically cleared or renewed every 2 minutes. You can also manually revoke the access. You can use Vault lease revoke, and you can use the ID. So it's all revocation operation success, right? So you can also manually revoke if there are some account which you want to revoke before it's the lease is over. You can also change the duration. Like if you want to change the duration from 2 minutes to 1 hour, you just write Vault write and use the role and you set that permission. Then if you use create read the role, you can see the lease duration is like 1 hour now. So it's not 2 minutes, it has been increased to 1 hour. So you can set your lease based on how much time do you need. You can also do these changes in the UI because you can see the duration is changed in the UI as well. You can click on edit and you can set the TTL over here as well, the maximum from here. You can make these changes, but I usually will say that these all should be automated and it should be done through GitHub so that you have a verified audit for who is changing what. You can see like I have enabled the secret engine for AWS. Super simple, just run Vault secret enable AWS. Then you can have AWS secret as well. Not just DB. You can have different secret engines, and then you can set up those secret as well. So for example, I just created a role over here like IAM user, and you can have different setup over here. You have the configuration, and simple. You just run some command Vault write and the configuration. You can set your AWS key and secret and those kind of information that it will store in the Vault, and then you can use that as to create dynamic secret. So you don't have to share the actual IAM user or your roles with anybody. You just use the Vault secret and you will give the dynamic secret to them. So that was super great, right? So what happens like when a stolen secret or credential is happen, right? For static one, if it's been stored somewhere, it's always used, it's never expire, right? So and it get leaked, it's a permanent problem. When we talk about dynamic secret, even it's told no problem, it's expire in a few seconds or a minute, right? So you don't have to worry about when some old secret is leaked because those are already expired, right? And you have full audit log of what the secret is done, when it was issued and when was and you can simply drop the secret as well. You don't have, it's not the permanent secret. So that's the Vault about dynamic secret using automatic TTL, zero static credential in your infrastructure. Few things to remember, like use Vault generate credential per request. You don't give a hard-coded secret. You based on like CI pipeline or anything, it can create the credential at that point, and that will auto expire. No rotation is needed, and every instant is audit logged, right? Drop a comment in the video, like are you managing secrets with Vault or AWS Secret Manager, or still using like .environmental files, right? Let me know in the comment section. I'm super curious to know how things are working in your environment and how you are going to use Vault. For the full code, I will link into the video description. I will upload all the code into the GitHub repository. I will link into the video description. Pull the Docker Compose and all the README from the my GitHub. Put a like to this video if you like this one, and if it has saved you some time, or if it will help you to improve your infrastructure. And also subscribe to my channel for more DevOps and DevSecOps videos. So until next time, see you soon.